Welcome to Dark Goddess Moon Tarot. I'm Olivia, and we're going to do a full moon in Gemini reading today. If this video started automatically playing for you and it's not anywhere near the full moon or the full moon in Gemini, don't worry. There's a reason this video started automatically playing. The energy that we're going to talk about today is important for you to hear at this current point in time, regardless of when you're watching this. So the significator card that came out for the energy we need to talk about today is the expansion. This is from the El Goliath Tarot. And this card, it's an extension of the death card. It's talking about shedding old skins so that we can step into who we are really meant to become. This is very much full moon energy in terms of realizing what we need to let go of, which we're going to talk about that. We're going to pull tarot cards and oracle cards and probably some charms for fun. But before we get into the reading, Spirit wants to talk about this expansion and how it relates to, once again, this is a timeless reading. All of my readings are timeless, but it's important to talk about the energy of what's currently happening, because no matter when you're watching this, even if it's 10 years from now, the energy that we're going to talk about is important for you right now, whenever you're watching this. Spirit wants me to make this very clear. So we are currently in a 9-year, the Hermit, and the Hermit is very much like going into a cocoon to transform, to have a metamorphosis, right? To come out as a butterfly. And this card, the author in the guidebook speaks about feeling the edges of the cocoon and breaking through them. It's not an easy process, transformation, but it is always worth it. You will come out with wings. So there's something else about it being Sagittarius season right now as I'm filming this. And, in Chinese astrology, it's the year of the snake, 2025 as I'm filming this. So it's very much about transformation. That's what this year's been about, doing the shadow work, going within. And Hermit mode, number 9, year 9, transforming as we moved out of Scorpio season and into Sagittarius season, which is the Archer. This is very much correlating to the year we're about to step into, which is the year of the fire horse in Chinese astrology. And in numerology, it's a 10-year, so the Wheel of Fortune, which comes after the Hermit. So all of these things are sort of playing into one another, and we're going to talk more about it as we pull tarot. But you might be in a space in your life, or Spirit would like you to take a look at becoming familiar with this space of transformation and what that really means. There's stuff that needs to be released. There's stuff that needs to be illuminated, which the full moon is really helpful for this type of energy work. And we're going to ask about how we can utilize this energy to reach our full potential of whatever this transformation is. And it will be different for everybody watching. It's a collective reading, but we'll just see what comes through. So if you have a feeling you know what this inner transformation is going to be about, absolutely hold that in your mind for your guides. But there may be messages that come through that we're not aware of, so keep an open mind. Spirit, what needs to be released for this full moon in Gemini, or during this time period, if they're not watching during the full moon in Gemini? What needs to be released right now? The World just flew out and landed reversed. So that means that there's a completion that's being delayed. when I was doing the pre-shuffle, we'll see if these cards come out, but I did see the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. So like a holding on to of this inner conflict, and it could be external conflict. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, we got a lot of cards coming up. But it could also be holding on to this internal conflict that's causing external conflict in our world with others. Okay. Ten of Wands. This came out in the last full moon reading I did. So yeah, full moons are about releasing, and Ten of Wands is like, it's about burdens and the need to release something. So it's just additional confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. So, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get this card here. Okay. All right, the World's reversed. We also had the Hierophant, the Knight of Pentacles, the Devil, and then the Ten of Swords come out sideways. So that's another 10 that's being delayed. Let's see here. So what needs to be released is some sort of burden, something that's burdening you. This could be in your physical world, like a responsibility, a need to delegate a responsibility, or this could be energetically. With the Ten of Swords, it's likely something mental, or maybe this is something else. Maybe you have multiple areas in your life where there's something that needs to be released. But the Ten of Swords is this feeling of total defeat. It's a feeling of being at rock bottom. And it's only when we realize that we're at a rock bottom can we begin to climb out of the hole we're metaphorically in. So you're there. Underneath the Ten of Swords, we do have the Nine of Swords. So anxiety, could be nightmares, insomnia, trouble sleeping, but it's stress. It's like being really, really stressed out, and you're almost at the end of this cycle. But there's something with the World in reverse. There's something blocking you from completing this cycle. And that is what Spirit would like you to release. That's what your higher self would like you to release for this full moon or this time period. So with the Knight of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Devil, so the Devil representing an attachment. It's holding on to something that is no longer serving you. And this expansion card, the Shedding Snake card, is talks about letting go of something that no longer serves you. So this is this could be a thought pattern with the swords here, the 9 and 10 of Swords. It very well could be a thought pattern, a way of being in the world. With the Ten of Wands and Knight of Pentacles, it could be work related. The need to let go of something in order to move towards a more stable financial future, a more financially stable future. And there's something weighing you down. The skin that you have to shed is weighing you down. You have to let it go. You have to take the chains off in order to move forward. For me, the Hierophant speaks about the inner teacher. It could be a mentor, but I'm really getting inner teacher for this. me see. What will be illuminated? What can you illuminate for us, Spirit, about that which we need to release? What can you illuminate for us? The Tower. So a sudden change will be occurring. Okay. Underneath the Tower, we have the Six of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles showed up on the pre-shuffle before I started filming. So this is definitely about what it is you want to manifest in this physical world. And there's something here about revisiting the past with the Six of Cups. Revisiting the past. Can I get more on the Six of Cups? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, interesting. So we had the Hermit pop out, which we had talked about it being a Hermit year, 2025. The numerology adds up to 9. So with it being in reverse, and the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and the Queen of Cups in reverse, it's like a disconnect from you and your intuition that's needed in order to weigh up the options. And this could be weigh up financial options, weigh the pros and cons of a job or a living situation. We have the Lovers, which is another card about choice. So the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Lovers upright. A choice. Choice. And then the last two, we have our Page of Wands and Five of Swords. So with the Five of Swords, it's a card of self-sabotage, a winning at all costs approach. I did just see 1331 on the timer and was told to bring that angel number up. All right, so a self-destruction in conflict. Page of Wands, self-exploration. I'm not gonna lie, I'm super confused. I am super confused, Spirit. I'm being told to actually use the El Goliath deck, so let me see here. There's too much. Spirit only gets sassy like that with the cards when there's too much. There's too much information. Okay. Page of Pentacles. So, yeah, we had the Page of Pentacles come out in both decks. So we need to talk about this. The Page of Pentacles is a person in the developmental stages of learning how to manifest, learning how to bring what they want into their physical reality. So jobs or careers or life paths, places to live, that kind of thing. It could be community as well. So we have, let's see, the Three of Swords, Page of Swords in reverse, Queen of Cups, the Ten of Swords in reverse, King of Cups in reverse. So already we're getting like heartbreak, emotional dysregulation, feeling very deregulated emotionally, not being able to come out of the Ten of Swords, like not being able to come out of a place of defeat, a betrayal. But we do have the Chariot and the Four of Wands. So you're going to take the reins mentally, the mental reins of the Chariot. You're going to take control. You're going to bring to fruition that which you've been striving for. But there's a need to let go of the pain of the past. Yeah, easier said than done. There's a need to emotionally regulate with this King of Cups coming out in reverse. And it may take looking at some past experiences. It may take going back to your childhood or past relationships that have influenced this feeling that you might be holding on to here with the Devil. This feeling of being burdened, this feeling of defeat, heartbreak, betrayal, like you're never going to come out of this cycle, like you don't know what to do because you felt this way for so long. You might be afraid you're always going to feel this way. My head is tingling. You might be afraid you'll always feel this way. I'm getting really emotional, so you might have been, with the King of Cups and Queen of Cups coming out twice, you might be in your emotions. I am always super emotional around the full moon and the new moon. I'm really tied to the moon energy. And we do have temperance, which is a need to temper those emotions, a need to find balance within your emotions. The King of Cups in the upright, which remember it came out in reverse, in the upright is very balanced emotionally. So yeah, temperance and the King of Cups in reverse, there's a need to balance those emotions. And then we had the Hanged one come out in reverse. So definitely a need to shift perspectives. That's going to help you break out of the cocoon. That's going to help you shed the skin. A shift in perspective about your past. A shift in perspective about your memories of the past. A lot of these memories are very painful memories. But by staying in the world reversed and the Ten of Swords reversed, by staying there, it will feel like you're going to be stuck there forever because you are, I don't want to say this, but Spirit's telling me to say it, so you are keeping yourself stuck there. emotionally and mentally. You are keeping yourself stuck there. The good news is, remember, we had the Chariot and the Four of Wands come out. So you are going to take control of this. And we had the Page of Pentacles twice. And I saw it in the pre-shuffle. So you're going to manifest. You're going to learn how to manifest what it is that you desire. But it's going to take coming out of the cocoon, shedding the skin of the old. So, Are there any other messages that we can pull through, Spirit, before we move on to Oracle and Charms? Thank you. The Eight of Swords, the card of victim mentality. That's the shift in perspective that Spirit would like you to see. We had the Hierophant come out again, this time in reverse. And then Justice. So there's a need to dismantle the systems you've created in your mind. Systems that most likely kept you safe at one point. But they're not keeping you safe now. They're keeping you imprisoned with the Eight of Swords and the Devil coming out in the same reading. These thoughts, Nine of Swords. They're keeping you imprisoned, underwater, unable to breathe. Unable to regulate your emotions. So it's going to take getting in touch with your inner teacher. This is one of my favorite interpretations of the Hierophant card. Artistically, I just think it is so beautiful. With it being in reverse, there's a need to get in touch with your inner teacher. There's a need to dismantle some of these thought processes. Then you will have Justice. Justice is a card of balance, much like Temperance, with the scales here. There will be balance. Balance will be restored. Justice will be restored, but you're the one holding the scales, I'm hearing. Even though it may not feel that way. Spirit is saying you're the one holding the scales. Okay, can we get an oracle card from the Desert Rites Oracle? Oracle card for this Gemini full moon, or for whenever anybody's watching, to sum up this reading. Oh, that's so many. Let's see. Integration. So that definitely ties in to the theme. We need to integrate. That's what shadow work is. It's not shaming ourselves for our shadows. It's not spiritual work in general. Living a spiritual life. Spirituality is not love and light. That's bullshit. It's sorry. We must integrate the darkness, Because if we pretend it's all love and light, if we hide from our shadows, if we hide from the fact that we are keeping ourselves in this loop, in this mental prison, and we just focus on the positive, just focusing on the positive will not, it's like a band-aid. It's like not going to prevent the wound from reopening. Like, you need to let the wound heal, I'm hearing. And that is done through integration. So integrating with that Six of Cups, integrating the past, memories of the past. Integrating the pain of the Three of Swords that we had come out, and the Ten of Swords, which we had come out twice, and the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. There's a lot of shit for us to integrate here. A lot of painful stuff. And that's important. Okay, and then the other cards we had come out besides integration, we have Soul Speak and Pour Into My Cup. I'm going to read the guidebook for these. Let's see here. Let's do Soul Speak first. If I can find it. Okay, here we go. The seeker finds an invitation to heed the whispers of intuition, even when they stir discomfort within. Here, the seeker learns to surrender to the truth that not every conversation with spirit will be bathed in light, for the soul's wisdom often emerges from the depths of shadow and pain. This is how I know I'm talking to spirit. There's no way that would have come out as a coincidence. Just there's no way. Oh my goodness, thank you, Spirit. With courage and humility, the seeker embraces the sacred dialogue with their innermost self, allowing the raw authenticity of the soul to speak, to pierce through layers of illusion and resistance. You must now trust the guiding voice of intuition to lead, knowing that true fulfillment will only arise from embracing the guided alignment with your soul's purpose. With each moment of deeper inquiry, you unveil the hidden treasures buried within, forging a deeper connection to the divine wisdom that dwells at the core of your being. As you surrender to intuition, you can now navigate the labyrinth of life with finer grace and clarity, guided by that inner strength. That's beautiful. Notice all of the butterflies. Butterflies are, in the tarot, connected to the air sign, the swords suit. So mental challenges, right? And we also, we had the metaphor of the cocoon, talking about breaking out of the cocoon, feeling your wings pressing up against it, feeling your wings crack it open. It's painful. It's not an easy transformation for the caterpillar to turn into a butterfly. But it's worth it because afterwards they can fly. They're a whole new being. Wow, so many synchronicities. Thank you, Spirit. Here, the seeker learns to surrender to the truth that not every conversation with spirit will be bathed in light, for the soul's wisdom often emerges from the depths of shadow and pain. That is just so perfect. I just can't think of a better way to end that. All right, let's see. Let's read the last one. Pour into my cup. And then we'll pull charms for fun to lighten it up a little bit. Okay. The seeker recognizes that they cannot pour from an empty cup and that their journey requires a steady resource of strength, focus, and energy to do their soul's work. Making themselves a priority is an act of self-love. By respecting their needs and honoring their boundaries, they begin to build or rebuild self-trust. This journey is about learning to trust yourself again. Society often asks us to deplete ourselves in service to others. But when we do that, we have less to give, and eventually we find that we cannot uplift another because we are running on empty ourselves. That's the 10 of Wands, love. You are being asked to create a space for rest, introspection, and other activities that replenish your reserves. It doesn't have to be complex. A prayer, meditation, journaling, a nourishing meal, a walk, and a good laugh are all ways to pour into your cup. The path through the desert's dark nights requires you to guard your sacred supply. Return to the eternal Return to the eternal fountain of love supplied by our spirit daily, and you'll find that you can pour into others from your overflow. Oh, this is so perfect. Once again, you know what's interesting is I don't think I've had either of these cards come out yet since starting to work with this deck, and they both talk about the dark and the light. Through the path through the desert's dark nights require you to guard your sacred supply. Wow, this is just so perfect. Thank you so much, Spirit. Amazing. So to sum it up, we need to integrate all of this darkness that we've endured throughout our life thus far. For many of you watching, that will be childhood trauma and or adulthood trauma. This may be anxiety, depression, PTSD, CPTSD, all of the above. Hi. You're in a safe space. Me too. It's the integration. So absolutely, if you don't already have a therapist, please do look into therapy. There are also resources created, YouTube videos, and books written by clinical psychologists and behavioral therapists. If you don't have access to a therapist, working with a therapist one-on-one, but that's the best way to do shadow work. A lot of my readings are about shadow work. But shadow work is such a personal journey, and us tarot readers that put out shadow work readings, it's barely scratching the surface. We can't bust through your cocoon for you. Only you can do that. But you're not alone on the journey. However, it is up to you. It's up to you to integrate those shadows, to integrate that pain, to take the reins of the chariot, to embody that page of pentacles, and learn how to bring into life what it is that you want to. It's a journey, right? A never-ending one. But a beautiful one nonetheless. Not because there are no shadows, but because we integrate the shadows. That's where the true beauty lies. That is so beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, let's get some charms. So these charms will act as, they can act as signs and synchronicities, confirmation for you from your guides and higher self. They can also be signs and synchronicities that you will be seeing if they're not familiar to you now. They might become familiar to you within the next couple of weeks, I'm hearing. And they can also pull through additional messages or clarifications. So we'll see what comes through for this Gemini full moon energy. Okay, let's see. So we have the third eye, learning to use our intuition. So we did have the Queen of Cups come out twice. And she is the court card that is the most in tune with their intuition. So that's an important message coming through. Learning how to decipher between intuition and anxiety. We have a lion. So this animal energy may be helpful to you at this time when it comes to channeling that fortitude, that inner strength, inner will, which it goes with the Chariot in the sense that the Chariot is mental strength, willpower. So lions, you may find that a helpful energy to work with. Okay, and the last charm that we got is the goddess Isis. And she is a goddess of magic, of healing, of manifestation, with the Page of Pentacles coming out here. Beautiful. So if you aren't familiar with her archetype, her energies, this may be her way of reaching out to you. Wow, this was a long one. If you're still here, thank you. Thank you for being here. If this was helpful, please do like the video so that I know that these readings are helping people and that that it makes sense to keep doing them. And feel free to leave a comment about how you are integrating these shadows, or also, more importantly, how are you pouring into your cup right now? In what ways are you pouring into your cup? Do you have any ideas for the rest of us? Yeah, I really liked what they said about even just cooking yourself a nourishing meal or having a good laugh, finding something to watch that makes you laugh, or talking to someone that makes you laugh. Yeah. If this was helpful, subscribe to the channel as well, because that way I'll be able to better tap into your energy and grow the collective and give more specific in-depth readings. And check out your zodiac sign readings. I always recommend checking out your sun, moon, rising, and Venus placements to get a more well-rounded picture of what's going on in your energy. And until the next time, I am sending you so much love. Take care.